All right, wax beans, eel toast.
So at Cavallini, we're looking to bring the same mentality with cooking that we've done at the Four Horsemen. I'm hesitant to say it's super Italian because in New York City, there are a lot of people cooking really amazing, beautiful Italian food here. We're just doing our version of it the best we can.
I've been to Venice a couple times. You have this dish there, this cicchetti called a sarde and sour, and I wanted to do something with those flavors, but with a more uncommon ingredient. This is some freshwater eel that's been blanched lightly. This we batter and deep fry. It's basically a slice of baguette, this really nice, bright agrodolce, and then a little piece of fried eel that sits on top of it. It's just a really nice little bite and a good way to start the meal.
We usually, as a prep team, get here at around 8, and kind of the first thing for us to do is our pasta production. On the menu right now, we have 2 handmade pastas. One's going to be Trofie and one's farfallone. The 2 extruded pastas that we have are gnocchi sardi and then bucatini. We make pasta every day. There's either dough production going on, pasta extrusion, pasta shaping. It's always something. So this is our Trofie dough. The dough is made up just of coarse semolina and hot water. The hot water, since the semolina is so coarse, helps it come together. We get all of our flour from a flour mill in Italy, in the region of Emilia-Romagna.
I think the Trofie was important for us because it's kind of a known thing in the pasta world, how difficult it is to make. And we worked on it for a couple weeks in the basement, Max and I just shaping, trying out different hydrations on the dough, different flours.
The mixer kind of gets us like 80% of the way there, and then we can do the rest by hand. I'll kind of take each of these doughs and give them like an initial kind of shape and knead. And then I'm just gonna wrap them and let them sit for about 20 minutes and then come back and really kind of knead and shape them into its final form.
I'm from California originally. The Bay Area being so reliant on incredible produce, I feel like I brought that same mentality with me to New York.
It's a lot of produce. Hopefully it'll get us through the week. Very aromatic down here right now.
We just got back from the Union Square Farmers Market. We hit it about 3 times a week. Some of this stuff is for Four Horsemen. We pick up for our other restaurant as well. This is the kind of stuff that gets us really excited. It's always good to see the farmers at the market too. And a lot of our menu is dictated by what they do and the hard work that they put in.
My food's not showy or fussy. It's very pared down. But I think in order to cook that kind of food, you have to lean really heavily on the level of ingredients that you're bringing in.
This is for our beef tendon dish. In Italian, it's Nervetti. I'm gonna cut the tendon into kind of more manageable pieces. As you can see, it's quite tough, which is why it has to braise for such a long time. We really want to break down all of that gelatin that's in there. So you can kind of see there's a lot of gelatinous cartilage. So we put about 30 tendons into the tendon braise here.
I had the Nervetti in Venice at this little restaurant, and they just serve like chunks of the tendon on a plate, a bottle of vinegar on the table. I really wanted to serve that here. I was like, man, nobody's gonna be excited about that.
We're gonna add some citrus peels, some onions, some celery, fennel seed, garlic that we've got cut in half, and then we've got some salt. We're gonna take this upstairs. It's still gonna get the liquid, water, and white wine. To throw it into the oven. It's gonna braise for about 5 to 7 hours. That's it.
Risina beans. They're a really cool bean from Umbria that one of our purveyors is bringing in exclusively for us. They're really cool, a really small bean, similar in size to flageolet. They're for this tuna dish that we're doing. And we hope that they really love the tuna, but my hope is that they get into the beans and they're like, whoa, what are these beans? And that becomes the highlight of the dish. With beans, we're very serious about the procedure. I salt in the beginning 70% of the way and then closer to the end. But I find that if you don't salt the beans a little bit in the beginning, what you end up with is an under-seasoned bean and just liquid that's really seasoned. These beans in particular, even though they're quite small, cooked for about 3 hours. Sachet, some aromatics in here, thyme, bay leaves. It's one of those things we don't like to rush. Right, Max?
Never rushing the beans, chef.
These guys are brainwashed about beans. This is Bluefin Tuna Toro. We're getting it right now with a little bit of age on it, which is nice. It's a little firmer. You lose some water content in the fish, and then umami comes out a little bit more. I'm just removing the loin from the skin. We'll render some of this fat and get it back into the beans later. Try not to waste anything. We tried this dish with a couple other cuts, and it just didn't hit the same. I think because the rest of the dish is so lean that it really needs the fattiness from the fish. This is like about a 3.5 ounce portion, so it's a pretty generous amount of tuna toro. For me, this is my favorite piece. Just the way the muscle kind of falls apart when it gets cooked slightly and then the fat melts a little bit. Salting it briefly just draws out a little bit of that excess moisture. Then we rinse it, we dry it off, and then on the pickup, we sear it dry. When we opened, I had this grand plan of doing super regional Italian cooking. And I actually built out a menu. And once we got in the space and once it started developing, I just felt like that wasn't authentic to me and to what I do. I felt like I was cooking out of cookbooks and cooking other people's recipes. Smells so good.
So tendon. Now that we've got it nice and braised and broken down, we're just gonna pull it out of the liquid here and just sort through, get all the tendon out. So you still have all these aromatics in there.
I mean, just look at it, man. Jiggly. It's like you can't even tell what's garlic confit or what's tendon. It's amazing.
We're just gonna strain off this liquid. We reserve this one to serve with the dish, but then also we need to have it in order to press with the tendon so that it can kind of set, because this is gonna be very gelatinous. It's pretty important to do this while it's still hot.
This stuff is like, I don't know, napalm or something. It like sticks to you and is just insanely hot. You don't want a beef tendon burn.
Not super pleasant. Rookie mistake is to press it before you get it into the walk-in. You end up with a huge mess that way and a very heavy thing. Corner coming down.
What we do is we chill it down, press it into a tureen essentially.
We came up with the idea of slicing it this way. This is kind of what you end up with. So it's super important to us, Ali specifically, that we slice it and keep it this consistently thin. Yeah, it's great. It tastes like a beef salad. Incredible.
I feel like in this day and age, it's hard to surprise people. A lot of times you feel like you don't have to go somewhere because it's been so saturated in social media that you're kind of like, oh yeah, I feel like I can wrap my head around that place. I like to feel like we have little surprises here and there and moments that a guest can be surprised. And like the beef tendon or the Nervetti, that's kind of a fun, approachable way for someone to try that ingredient. When you shave it that thin on a meat slicer, it really just like melts on your tongue.
This is some of the jelly, which is left over from the braise. It's all strained out. And that's gonna add some additional texture and a lot of like savory, umami, beefy flavor. It's a very cool dish, super refreshing for the summertime. And that's it. One of the big reasons we opened the Cavallini is because we had such a strong depth of cooks and also people on the front of house side that we felt had maybe hit a ceiling at Horsemen, and we wanted to give them a little more room for growth. And Ben, who's the chef de cuisine here, was my sous chef at Four Horsemen for the last 6 years. And we all worked together on this project from day one. All right, so we're gonna head over to the Four Horsemen right now. I've been pretty tied down with E. Cavallini the last few months, but I've still been checking in on these guys every day. When we opened, there wasn't much in the realm of a natural wine bar in New York City. What's up, man? How's it going? Good.
So Dylan's kind of taken the reins of the menu at the Four Horsemen over the last year or so. Dylan and I have traveled all over the world. He's been one of the core members of my team. We've done a bunch of events together. He put this menu together for the Eater event that we did.
Yeah, it was great having Eater and Capital One come in and let us cook for them. We did the oeuf mayonnaise with a cetra caviar and squid ink, a green tomato dish that we pickle in-house, some chiffonade lovage that we're getting from the market. Here a masa with Bonnie melon, kind of riff on leche de tigre that we had on the menu when I first started.
It's nice that this tiny place has taken us all over the world. These events give us opportunities to really share what we do with a lot of people. Our goal was never to get the Michelin star. I still think we are an outlier in that world, which I feel like is something we're proud of. We're doing what we do. We got recognized for it, and we didn't have to change who we were. At E. Cavallini, the dining room is over twice the size of Horsemen, and I feel like I finally have my dream kitchen a little bit.
Kind of our last big task for the day is going to be to roll our Trofie. As you can see, we have all hands on deck right now, so we can get to service. So it's this motion of just rolling this spiral against the table, and you really just kind of get a rhythm. It's certainly kind of like a dance between the pressure, the angle, and the speed of your movement. It's kind of crazy that we're doing this and serving as much of it as we are. Every portion has at least 100 Trofie in it.
In Liguria, you'll find like grandmothers on the street just constantly making it, and it takes 4 cooks here, an hour and a half a day making enough for a service. So it's definitely a labor of love.
I mean, yeah, I haven't done it in a while, but it's just like riding a bike-ish. I'm definitely getting some not so great ones, but I'm honest. I'm honest about it, you know? Constantly chasing the perfect spiral.
It's relaxing, and sometimes we'll listen to Moby Dick while we're doing it.
I say that the whale in question must have been no other than Moby Dick.
I don't know, Avery, why Moby Dick?
It's a long-ass book. All right, let's do it. It's 5 o'clock. We're doing some tasters right now. Doors are open, letting in the first guests. It's crunch time right now. We've got all of our prep done. Everyone's feeling good. Everyone's smiling, which is key. And we're gonna put out some good food. It's gonna be great. Fire wax beans, mussels.
Trofie we serve with a pesto sauce, which is traditional in the region that it comes from, which is in Liguria. It's hard not to put basil in every dish, especially at an Italian-inspired restaurant. And that was a perfect vessel for a summer pasta dish. The only change we make from the classical dish that you would find in Liguria is we add this Belper Knolle cheese. It's cow's milk cheese. It's covered in black pepper, and that just adds a little bit of acidity and richness to the dish. A couple of chefs that have come in so far that run pretty well-established Italian restaurants in New York have been like, holy shit, you guys are putting Trofie on the menu? Like, that's crazy. And that kind of stuff's really cool to us.
So we're gonna cook off the tuna right now. The fish is dried out nicely at this point.
We'll sear it off in a steel pan, really high heat. Try to get a crust on one side, but we're still leaving it mid-rare. And that's getting served over the beans that are picked up in a nice bean broth. But then we also add some tomatoes that have been slow roasted. And then it gets finished with a good amount of this gremolata that has chervil in it. So really nice like fennel, anise notes. Just adds a lot of freshness to the dish.
So when you bite into it, you get this like really nice, fresh, herby bite up front, followed by like the super fatty and rich tuna that I think goes really nicely together.
It's nice too, because as you eat it, it falls off of the tuna and it becomes part of the beans, and then the fats from the tuna kind of make their way into the beans as well, and you end up with this really beautiful broth as you're like finishing the dish. Both at Horseman and Cavallini, I want the food to feel approachable. I'm not chef flexing on the menu. It reads as something very approachable, but there are still some surprises and there's still a great depth of flavor and technique. And that's rooted in underselling and over-delivering. That's kind of something we've been doing since day one. That all comes from like when we opened as a wine bar, there was a lot of pressure on a guest. The experience of ordering wine could be stressful. I remember wanting the menu to be like a breath of fresh air.
Table 32.
I think when people come to eat Cavallini, I just want them to have a good time. I mean, that's what we're in the business of providing. And hopefully maybe learn about something like Trofie, or, oh yeah, I really like beef tendon actually. I never had it before, or I've never had it served this way. So looking to surprise people along the way and just give them a really enjoyable experience.